Hello and welcome to the Unhinged Gamer, brought to you by the palaceofwisdom.co.uk. I'm Mike and this is a review for LEGO Jurassic World. Now, 22 years ago, Steven Spielberg, a little director you may have heard of, released something very special into this world. A movie that has since become one of the most loved movies of all time. It is, of course, Jurassic Park. Following a couple of less than well-received sequels, the franchise has been left dormant for some time, but that's about to change. This year sees the release of the fourth movie in the series, and in partnership with developers TT Games, a LEGO tie-in for the franchise has finally been released alongside the new blockbuster. Welcome to LEGO Jurassic World. Converting movie franchises into enjoyable brick-based puzzle games isn't exactly new to TT Games. Star Wars, Harry Potter, Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit have all had similar treatment over the last 8 years, and all with positive outcomes. So how does Dr. Alan Grant and co do with the transition? Despite sharing the movie's name, the game actually follows the entirety of the franchise, all four movies from 1993's Jurassic Park through to 2015's Jurassic World. With that in mind, folks, if you haven't seen the latest movie, it might be worth going to see that at the cinema before playing the game, just to make sure you definitely have a spoiler-free experience. I said the same thing last year about the LEGO movie game, because that ruined the movie if you played the game first. 20 levels make up the core campaign, 5 per movie, each taking significant scenes from the franchise and adding their own special LEGO touch. The cutscenes are hilarious to say the least, recreating key parts of the movie almost frame by frame, and then just throwing in a bit of brick-related humour for the hell of it. It's a tradition that goes back to LEGO Star Wars, and it's still proving successful even today. It's safe to say there's a few gruesome moments in the Jurassic Park series which might scare the youngest of the target audience for this game, but much like Pirates of the Caribbean and Indiana Jones, TT Games have you covered. Take the opening scene from Jurassic Park as an example. The cargo box holding the raptor and the transfer which results in the unfortunate end of one of InGen's employees. In LEGO Jurassic World, they replace the carnage with a tug of war between said worker and a raptor for a sausage. If, like me, you're a long-term fan of the LEGO series, then you're going to be pretty familiar with the mechanics of the game. The controls are easy to master, and in terms of what abilities you have available, you can draw a few comparisons with other games. Alan Grant, for example, has the ability to follow dinosaur tracks, very similar to Aragorn from LEGO Lord of the Rings, and he can also dig up buried items, much like Wolverine from LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Lex, remember the teenage girl who calls herself a hacker because she has the ability to navigate a Unix operating system? Yeah! She has the ability to shatter glass through screaming, much like Black Canary in the LEGO Batman games. It's fair to say that the LEGO formula, the refined system of skills and controls, is utilised to its fullest in this game without the need to be groundbreakingly unique. Now, that might sound like a bad thing for anyone that's actually looking for something new, but when you consider that the target audience for these games are youngsters, consistency is key. Even so, the system has been evolving over the last 8 years. Every now and again, TT Games do throw something in just to make sure we're still paying attention. With Jurassic World, the new feature is the ability to control dinosaurs. Yep, that's right, dinosaurs. It makes a lot of sense, to be fair. I mean, if the newest movie has taught me anything, it's that the dinosaurs are characters too, and so deserve their own part to play in this recreation. Much like the recently added big figs, like Hulk and the Thing from LEGO Marvel, your movement and abilities are limited, but when brute force is needed, having a Triceratops on call might be a little bit handy. Outside of the linear story, you now have the obligatory open world, and fans will be more than pleased with it. The hub is split into several different areas. One, for example, is the original Jurassic Park island. It's essentially the entire island from the original movie. You also have the Site B island available once you unlock Jurassic Park 2 and 3 in the story, as well as Jurassic World, so you can actually go through the fully functional theme park. All of these open areas are fully open to exploration, populated with the standard side missions and hidden collectibles that are now standard within these games. This massive open world more than doubles your playtime once you finish with the stories. Given that this is a LEGO game and the template is pretty much standard now, it's very difficult to find really big issues. But if I was going to find the biggest issue within this game, it's the poor audio in places. Early installments from TT's LEGO series didn't really have any character voices. LEGO Star Wars, for example, is entirely mute from a vocal perspective. It wasn't until Frodo and the gang began their adventure in LEGO Middle-earth that we finally got treated to a movie's vocal talent alongside the epic musical soundtracks. Since then, the movie transitions have mostly been modern franchises, post-2000, meaning that the audio brought into the game has been extremely good quality. Where the original Jurassic Park is over 2 decades old, the soundbites suffer slightly. This isn't going to do too much to hinder your enjoyment, but it is noticeable, especially in the early levels. Don't worry though, because as long as you have the epic Jurassic Park soundtrack blaring at full volume, you'd need nothing else. Overall, LEGO Jurassic World is exactly what you've come to expect from TT Games and their LEGO series. The developer has taken what they've learnt from previous games, made a few refinements, and that's about it from a gameplay perspective. The transition from movies to brick form has been very kind on the Jurassic Park franchise. Much like the Star Wars prequels, this game has given the less than great Jurassic Park sequels a purpose in telling the overall story in a much more fun environment. Fans of LEGO will love this game. It continues a long tradition of maintaining a status quo whilst evolving new features. Fans of Jurassic Park will love this game because it's all 4 movies told brilliantly with added humour, something seriously lacking from the 2 earlier sequels. With that in mind, I give this game a 4.5 out of 5. It very much deserves it. It's a game for LEGO lovers and it's a game for Jurassic Park lovers. The movies are brilliantly transformed with TT Games' level of detail and their unique sense of humour. The open world is massive and dedicated to the fans who love the movies. Well worth a playthrough. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me ramble on about another game. I'll be back very soon. In the meantime, go back, have a look at my other videos, or you can get in contact with me with contact details coming up very shortly. Thank you.